We are still here at the modern agro farm, and today we take a look at Gonja, also known as plantain farming, with none other than Dr. Pascal Osire.
Boiled, baked, fried, sliced, whole, in whatever form, plantain, aka Gonja, is widely enjoyed in this country. So welcome to another episode of NTV Seeds of Gold. Thank you for joining us.
Plantain, a member of the banana family, stands as the star of this agro adventure. It's starchy, low in sugar, and can be transformed into delectable dishes. In Uganda, it's mostly roasted over an open fire, a tradition that resonates through generations.
The market is so huge that I cannot, me as a person, even if I did 300 acres of Gonja, I will not meet the demand of the market.
Yeah, so more people need to come on board.
Yeah, so that is one of the things I have told my people here. If you cannot do the other one, try this one. If you think the other one is hard, try Gonja, because Gonja this is one of the cheapest things to do.
Dr. Osire was inspired to venture into this enterprise with the help of a mere conversation with brilliant minds.
I was sitting with people with good brains, and we were discussing about farming. And then one said, by the way, I want to go into, in fact, it was a debate between doing matoke and Gonja. And then I think the one who talked about Gonja won my heart. I said, I will give it a try.
Well, another inspiration is simply the deep love he and his family have for the tasty treat.
I love Gonja so much. I eat it a lot. My family does the same. And then the world does the same. Encouraged
by them, he made a pivotal decision, started small.
The first circus, he connected us to someone a lady in Gomba. That's why we picked our first circus of Gonja. And then, after that, when we did and we saw the thing is doing great, I said, now we go for expansion. And here today, we are great. We are producing Gonja.
In no time, Sam's, a crisps production company, became a loyal market.
We got a consumer of Gonja, actually the person who processes Gonja in Uganda, and that company, that is Sam's Crisps. I said that we can do this. Actually, it was through my wife. All the Gonja that we produce from here, Sam's Crisps takes. And even they are asking if we can do more. They are even asking us if we can do a lot of tonnage probably per month and so on. We said, we are coming slowly by slowly.
And now even external markets are knocking.
I have been contacted to do an export of Gonja. The other day, one person who does it was quarreling with me that I'm asking you for Gonja, you don't want to give it to me. But I said, hey, this man is also watching, as if they are on the camera, that whenever Gonja is ready, they are saying, we want it here. So I have no choice. I said, let me sell it locally, let it be processed here, we all enjoy here. And then for Gonja, I can say if there is any excess, that is what will go for export. But as of now, whatever we grow here, it is consumed here. The market is so huge that I cannot, me as a person, even if I did 300 acres of Gonja, I will not meet the demand of the market. Yeah, so that is one of the things I have told my people here. If you cannot do the other one, try this one. If you think the other one is hard, try Gonja, because Gonja this is one of the cheapest things to do.
The process is akin to matoke. Gonja propagates vegetatively using peppers, sword suckers, and maiden suckers. Peppers are young suckers appearing above the ground with large-scale leaves. Sword suckers are formed from buds, while maiden suckers are taller with broader leaves. The journey to a bountiful harvest depends on several factors: temperature, water, soil fertility, and ripeness preference. On average, Gonja matures in about 16 months.
Because some Gonja 9 months the thing was ready. I said, what is this? 9 months, and actually from the other side, when you're going into the farming of plantain, I want you to do like, this is what I said. After 10 years, I said, I want that thing that will give me money in 4 years. Then I went into that. I said, I want something now that gives me money in 2 years. That one came. I said, what is that thing that will give me money now in between 1 year to 2 years? I said, Gonja is there. What is that thing that will give me money in a period of 4 to 6 months? That's when I grow the sorghum, I grow the sunflower. What is that thing that gives me money within a period of 3 to 4 months? I mean that is the time the harvest starts.
Yeah.
Then I go into for chili and hot pepper.
Osiri advises that for a fruitful yield, one ought to adhere to recommended spacing and add organic manure in the holes. Prune dry leaves at the beginning of the rainy season to protect the stems from harsh sunshine. And don't forget mulching and seeking professional advice.
Mulching. And you can see us, we have struggled to do the mulching here because you have to control the heat. You know this place, when it is hot, it becomes too hot. So for you to get what you want, you have to try to do the mulching. The grass is there. If you are doing it small, you can also manage to cut alone. But that's one of the businesses I've given people in this community, because every Christmas they eat like kings and princesses, because everyone will have money. They cut a lot of grass and I spend a lot of money, but it is worth it, because now here we are not weeding. This grass, they are only uprooting now. So even if you calculate it, the money that you spend if you to say, let me continue weeding all the time, you spend more money than buying grass to do the mulching. So here we have an agronomist. If any farmer around in the community has a challenge, he will visit them. But he can even go up to the gardens to help them, to guide them. Now for these ones also the same. I have some good friends of mine there in Uganda there, and they are those ones who are specialized in matoke, banana, whatever, and so on. They will come and look at it and say, this one is getting infection, but this is the remedy, and then we do it. So most of the times, even them, they need some chemicals when infection is coming. But there are times we also do it locally. Like we grow a lot of hot pepper. So hot pepper we can put somewhere, decompose it, and you use it. It will kill any kind of a bacterial infection, a viral infection, an insect that wants to, yeah.
So they do have the challenge of diseases
wilting,
and
yeah.
So one of the ways of mitigating is the chili peppers. Yeah. What other way can they? Of
course, we also use those chemicals.
Yeah.
But we use even jig, those ones there. Even us, yeah, we use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
So it is something that doesn't demand a lot. If you don't have money for chemical, who doesn't cook? You have a ash at home there, use it. At least get a little of jig, use it. And then the other ones, use it, and all will be okay.
The jig, do you spray it on the plant, on the ground? What are we talking about here?
Especially a jig, when you put it on the whatever, but mostly like when it is a disinfectant.
Yeah.
When you're pruning or when you are removing the suckers, because maybe this plant is having an infection and this one doesn't have. So each and every, like the moment you finish it to clean up this pruning, you use the jig to clean up the knife that you're using.
Oh.
So such that if this one is infected, as you go to the next plant, you are not taking the same infection the other side.
The next one.
Yeah, and by the way, even planting, because there is something that you use for planting in case there are some pests that want to come in down there to destroy. But you can even use a jig. You just dip it in the jig, and then you plant it.
Here, he also practices intercropping with avocado, making the most of available space.
For me, the reason actually, if your intention is only to have the Gonja plantation, then you are not going to have this spacing. At least there should have been another line here.
Yeah.
Yes, but for me, as you can see, we are doing intercropping with avocados. So avocados will pass in the middle here.
Okay.
That one, another line passes in the middle here. So choose it, avocado, coffee, cashew nut, wherever, you can pass it here.
So it's safe to enter.
Very safe, very safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Because whether you want it or not, definitely bananas, gonja, matoke, they will definitely go off and the other ones will remain.
Okay. We are all about the gold in the seed. So we go out, we get you the best agronomists to tell you about the best practices. You're welcome on the show, Solomon.
Thank you.
Gonja, plantain. It's a snack, it's food to some, but we all enjoy it. Now we have a farmer with acres on acres of gonja. What are some of the practices one would have to embrace?
Farmers are in luck
Yeah.
because gonja production does not differ a lot from production of bananas, the cooking type.
Yeah.
It starts with the suckers, which are planted. The spacing is literally the same, and the soil requirements are also the same. The only challenge is gonja production had for so many years back declined because from the introduction of the banana bacterial wilt, which wiped away a lot of the different varieties of plantain, it also went along because it's quite susceptible to banana bacterial wilt. But talking about production, gonja requires deep soils that are fertile, and it is established at a spacing of about 3 by 3. And the planting hole must carefully be dug such that the topsoil is separated from the red soil, and the topsoil mixed with fertilizer about a basin and placed back into the planting hole before we are able to establish the sucker. Farmers must be extremely careful to ensure that they do not plant suckers that are infested with weevils, because weevils are a major pest in gonja production. Weevils damage roots and create wounds that become entry points for diseases such as fusarium, which causes yellowing of the banana leaves that later on affect the yields. Weevils also prevent the sucker from establishing roots that are able to source nutrients and water for the banana plant to grow well. There are many routine practices in gonja production, just like bananas, that are important for good production.
Yeah.
One, there must be thinning to reduce extra plants that come out from the sucker, because it's quite a vigorous plant. So reducing to about a maximum of 3, where you have the mother, you have the daughter, and you have the grand, is the ideal recommendation of a mat.
Yeah.
And with that, we are sure that there isn't unnecessary competition that will prevent formation of big banana fingers, gonja fingers. The other is weed management and water conservation. We usually recommend weeding around the banana, the plant, the gonja plant, and keep it weed-free at most of the times. And also mulching to conserve moisture or water, because if we do not, again, that affects the size of the fingers. Pruning is another cultural practice that is important during production of gonja. And one of the reasons we prune is, one, to remove old leaves that we later can use for mulching. But also the other is to remove diseased leaves that are 50% wasted by disease. And when you remove these diseased leaves, and unlike where we prune the leaves that are old for mulching, the ones that are diseased, we don't use them for mulching, because oftentimes the spores, the fungal spores that cause disease on the leaves, if the leaves are used to mulch, can easily get back to the low-hanging leaves and cause disease to progress within the banana plantation, within the gonja plantation. So application of manure is very good for production of gonja, and there are many systems that we can use to apply manure. Manure can be applied around the mat, about a foot away from the mat, or there's what they call bucket feeding, where between 4 plants a hole is dug and manure is put in there, such that as it decomposes, the water that gets into the pit washes the nutrients and pushes the nutrients towards the roots of the plants, and the plants then can take up and grow well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, clearly gonja is doable. Why do we see very few farmers, venturing into it for commercial purposes mostly?
Many farmers do not know that gonja has quite a good market. That is one. But also the other reason is because some farmers who grew it had bad experiences, especially with bacterial wilt, with the fusarium wilt. Many of them distanced themselves from growing gonja. But those that have realized that there's actually gold in the gonja are now back in production of gonja, because we see gonja come from Kenya, and yet we also have the ability and the opportunity to produce gonja both for the Ugandan market but also for the international market.
Beyond financial gains, gonja is a treasure trove of nutrients. Rich in vitamin A, it enhances night vision, skin health, and immunity. It energizes the body, reducing fatigue, and supports brain function. From humble beginnings, an 18-acre farm has grown into a sprawling 270 acres. They've created jobs, diversified into conventional crops, and even established a value addition center, all thanks to the returns from gonja. The venture now funds a value addition center and a farm truck, ensuring the business's sustainability and expansion. Dr. Osire believes that focused planning is the cornerstone of his success. Dr. Osire's entrepreneurial spirit extends beyond farming. He has ventured into herbal and natural medicine, certified and visited even by the country's top leaders. A clear depiction of the untapped potential that farming in Uganda has.
We have created employment. That is the greatest achievement. And then the constructions that we have done, most of the monies come from the farm. Because besides this, we also grow other conventional crops. When we grow sunflower, we grow it big, like last season we had about 50 acres of sunflower. And then we do sorghum for beer. We can do like 50 acres. We do soya, we can do for about 50 acres. So all there, money come in, and then it is invested. Of course, now you have to pay these people. At least we have created employment. We have a value addition center that it came from the what? From the farm. We have some cars, all that come from the soil, from the farm, yeah.
Dr. Osiri has also gone ahead to provide a space for worship, rent-free, fostering unity and spiritual growth. Besides, what better way to give thanks to the Almighty? With passion and hard work, Dr. Pascal Osiri has truly sown the seeds of gold.
It is always a pleasure to have you on the show. That's all we had for you today. Don't forget to keep the comments coming in. #NTV Seeds of Gold. See you again next week. We are all about the gold in the seeds, so we get you the best agronomists to tell you all about the right practices. Yeah?